So is your skin dry or is it dehydrated? What is the difference and why does it even matter? Hey there, I'm Dr. Ray. I'm a board certified dermatologist, and today I'm going to talk to you about the difference between dry skin and dehydrated skin, what they are and why it matters. A lot of people have this misconception that if their skin feels dry, that they just have dry skin and all they need to do is just layer on the moisturizers and it will fix it. But here's the problem with that. We are not taking into account the underlying condition of your skin and what you're already putting on it. So how do you tell the difference between a skin that is just dry and dehydrated? Dry skin is skin that is genetically typically born with fewer oil glands, and so you just don't make as much oil as some other people who have, let's say, normal skin or oily skin. Okay, and that is typically a lifelong thing and something that you'll probably be living with well into your later years of life. Okay, now dehydrated skin can happen to anybody. It can happen to someone with dry skin at baseline, or it can happen to someone with normal or combination skin, or even someone with oily skin can have dehydrated skin. And where does dehydrated skin even come from? Typically that will happen if someone is over cleansing their skin. Maybe they're using double cleansers too often and maybe the wrong types of cleansers when they are double cleansing, or if they're using harsh toners on their skin that contain either alcohol or acids that are just not right for their skin or overdoing it for their skin, or if they're layering on other actives like retinoids combined with acids, etc., that are just overwhelming their skin. And so in that situation, it is very easy for the barrier of the skin barrier, we've all heard so much about this these days. It keeps the good things in, like hydration and moisture, and keeps the bad things out, like bacteria, fungus, and microbes, and things like that, toxins. And so that barrier can become compromised. It does not hold on to the moisture as well. It does not function as well. And then your skin becomes dehydrated. And so what are the signs of dehydrated skin? If your skin is dehydrated, you might have skin that feels tight, like after cleansing especially, it feels really tight, and it is visibly flaky in certain areas. And it might be just in patchy areas, like around the mouth, for example, is a really common area. Or your skin might look both shiny and feel tight. That's kind of a strange combination. The shininess is not really from oil, it's just kind of the dehydrated look of the skin. Or you might have makeup that just doesn't sit very well on the skin. It's very uneven, it's patchy, it's not really absorbing into the skin very well. Your skin might sting when you put even just a bland, like gentle moisturizer on your skin. Or you might have rashes, irritation, or breakouts like acne when you didn't before. And another sign is that your wrinkles or fine lines might suddenly be way more prominent than they were before. And so all of those can be a sign that your skin barrier is compromised. And if so, nothing is really going to work well in your routine. Your actives are not going to absorb well, even your moisturizer, even your $150 cream is not going to absorb well, and not even your sunscreen, your SPF. So this is something that needs to be addressed so that the products that you're using are not going to waste. Okay, so what do you do if you feel like you might have dehydrated skin? The first thing I want you to do is look at your product lineup. Okay, so really I want you to focus on the ingredients. I do find a lot of times people are using products that they hear are good online, or they have a really nice promise on there like age defying, etc., but they don't really know what's in the product. So I want you to look at your ingredients in the product, or even just like the website of the product, to see what they tell you in terms of what are the key ingredients in that product. Are there retinoids like retinol, retinaldehyde, retinol esters like retinol palmitate, for example? So those are in the retinoid family. So those are great. Those are really amazing anti-aging ingredients. They're really the goats of the greatest of all time of anti-aging ingredients. But if your skin is already dehydrated, I want you to know that they are going to dehydrate you more, and they might be contributing to the problem at this point. Okay, so do you have any retinoids in your regimen already? 2, in addition to that, do you have any acids like beta hydroxy acids like salicylic acid, alpha hydroxy acids like glycolic, mandelic, lactic? If you have exfoliating acids like those in your ingredient list in your products, that is another ingredient that can be dehydrating to your skin, okay? And then look at your hydrating products that you're using. For example, your face moisturizer. Is it a lighter one like a lotion or maybe a gel, water-based gel, or is it a little bit more creamy? And how does it feel on the skin? Are you layering moisturizers? Are you using a hydrating serum or not? So these are all things to look for just kind of do a routine audit, okay? Now, in that situation, if your skin is dehydrated and you are using any form of retinoid, like retinol, etc., or an acid, a hydroxy acid, the first thing really you want to do is kind of back off on those things, okay? And you definitely can back off on all of it all at once, okay? And then kind of slowly reintroduce later. Don't worry, we're not going to keep you from using those forever, but you can reintroduce them slowly later once your barrier is repaired, when your skin is no longer dehydrated, okay? First thing you want to do is back off on anything that might be dehydrating your skin or causing some irritation or compromise to the barrier when used in combination, okay? And then I want you to focus on barrier repair. So what that means is we're holding off on those actives. We're focusing on hydrating ingredients like hyaluronic acid, that's the most well-known one, but also glycerin, panthenol. Those are good hydrating ingredients in any type of serum or moisturizer, in combination with ceramides are really also kind of the go-to when it comes to hydration of the skin. They're emollients that help kind of fill in the gaps between your skin cells and keep the moisture in. And then also, for the time being, you might also need to use kind of a heavier barrier repair cream. I have a couple that I really like. I will put them in the description of this video. In general, those kinds of barrier repair creams can be used by anybody who is experiencing either really dry skin, they're hydrating as well, but they also help restore that skin barrier, so you're able to hold in the moisture better. And so they can be used by almost anybody, with the exception if you are very acne prone, then they might actually make you break out a little bit more. So just be cautious with that. Okay, so you're focusing on barrier repair. And I also want you to look at not just what you're doing externally to your skin, but what are your habits? So are you out in the sun a lot? Are you in the ocean or the pool? Are you exposed to a lot of water? Because that is probably also contributing to the dehydration of the skin. Sun dehydrates, water dehydrates. So if that's the case, you want to just, number one, be really, really cautious in terms of sun exposure. I want you to wear hats as much as you can when you are out to protect from those direct UV rays, and definitely be on top of it with your sunscreen, okay? And whichever sunscreen you prefer, whether it's mineral or chemical based or a combination, is fine with me. I personally prefer mineral, and that's usually what I recommend to my patients and clients, but any sunscreen that you love, use it and reapply it every couple of hours, so you're helping protect your skin from that dehydrating sun. Seek shade as much as you can. I think we forget about that. And then if you have a choice in your activities in terms of when you do them, like I go swimming 5 days a week and I usually go at like 12 p.m. If that's the case, maybe if you can, move it up. So move it up to the earlier morning or later in the afternoon, early evening when the sun is not so intense, and actually that alone could be less dehydrating to your skin. Chlorine and salt water also are very dehydrating to the skin. In that situation, again, we want you to live your life, we want you to be active, and being in the water is amazing and therapeutic and all the things, but that just does mean that you might need to step up your hydration efforts, both internally and externally. I'll talk about the internal part in a moment, but also that means maybe just for the time being, you need to back off of certain actives like retinoids or acids even more, or for even longer, and kind of work them in even more slowly so that they kind of fit with your lifestyle, okay? And then lastly, I do want you to think about how you are hydrating your skin internally. Now, I will say, whether your internal state is hydrated or not, your skin can still be dehydrated. If you're not adequately hydrating it externally, if you are overdoing it with actives like we talked about, you can drink all the water in the world and your skin will still not respond. It will still be dehydrated, okay? However, if you are also internally dehydrated, then it is going to make it more of a problem in terms of trying to get control of that dehydrated skin and the symptoms that go along with that, like the flakiness, the dryness, the tightness, all of that, okay? So internal hydration comes not just from water, which yes, water is amazing, and I want you to drink, at least 64 ounces a day. Depending on your activities, you might need more, right? If you're very active, you're going to drink more water, but also from the foods you eat. So fruits and vegetables naturally contain a lot of water, and when we are kind of bulking up on those or kind of focusing on those in our daily meals and daily snacks, and they take the place of more dehydrating things like processed foods, like, chips and bread and, things like that, you are naturally going to hydrate your body and of course your skin more effectively. So this is where food and nutrition does become important, not just in this aspect, but in many aspects of skin health and appearance and beauty, but in this situation for sure. So you want to look at what you are taking in on a daily basis. Now, I know this is not an easy thing to look at and assess and fix, but it is something that is worthwhile to look at because your skin, again, it's always going to reflect what is going on internally with you. And when you are treating your body really well, including with what you put in it, 100% that is going to reflect in your skin. So I know I'm a dermatologist, I talk about skin, but everything I talk about in terms of how you can improve your skin internally, yes, for sure it is going to also benefit you in terms of your overall health as well. We are just really finding out a lot about how nutrition is so important to our skin health. And we already kind of knew that it is very important for our internal health, right? But in terms of our skin health, it is really coming more to light in terms of what the research shows, in terms of how our food intake and other things that we do to our body internally affect our skin health and beauty. So look at what you're eating, try to bulk up on fruits, fresh fruits, veggies, and of course water. And you can use things like herbal tea that is hydrating as well if you like that. Coffee, not so much. Black tea, not as much. So if you are gonna go for something other than water, then herbal tea is great. And if you wanna do like those flavored waters or even a sparkling water with lemon, lime, etc., those are really nice if you wanna spice it up. If you're not a big water person, then feel free to play with it a little bit as long as it's not something that's like dehydrating you more. So those are the steps I want you to take if you feel like your skin might be dehydrated. And then after time, and it might take a few weeks really to kind of get your skin back on track, then you can look at your old routine that you were using and look at the products and kind of see what you can work back in. So this is something that is a bit nuanced in terms of how you work them back in, etc. And it might need a little bit of kind of professional guidance in that situation to know what you should actually focus on, how you reintroduce it, how you adjust your other products you're using as you're reintroducing it. But I will say slower is better. Okay, so if you go with that mantra, is kind of low and slow is the way you want to reintroduce any actives like retinoids or acids that might potentially, dry out or dehydrate the skin. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. If you want further guidance from me on things like this in terms of assessing your skin, figuring out what you need in your regimen and how it's affecting your skin, how it can maximally benefit your skin, and what your routine really should be and how it should evolve over time. This is something I'm going to be doing in my new program called Radiant by Design. This is a brand new program, a pilot program, where you get personalized guidance, education from me in terms of how to best care for your unique skin in your situation, with your age and your current skin type and your current skin condition, your goals for your skin, everything. We take all of that into account, your lifestyle, your habits, all the things I like to talk about. And we take those things into account, and then you get personalized guidance from me in terms of how to go forward to take the best care of your skin, to promote the health and beauty of your skin, to promote the longevity of your skin, the resilience, the youthfulness over time, all of that. Okay, and you get a personalized blueprint from me. So if that interests you at all, I'm going to put the link to join the priority list to join us. As a priority list member, you're going to get first access to becoming a founding member, which is amazing because founding members get 50% off the program, which is not going to happen again. And you also, because we're kind of building this together, I rely on your feedback to really fine tune, and you get access to everything. In this situation, you are going to get the most kind of guidance and hand holding by me, more than you will in future versions of the program. The link is in the description. And again, I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions, please pop them in the comments. I love answering questions. I love talking about this stuff. And if you aren't already subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. And I hope you have a wonderful day. I will see you next time.